Good morning. Good morning. I'm Sally Herring, one of the associate rectors here, and one of my areas is outreach. And so the Habitat Build falls under my purview, and I'm so grateful that we have some folks here this morning from Habitat that I'm going to introduce to you. But I wanted to tell you first a little bit about our build. St. Stephen's is hosting the Habitat for Humanity Build in honor of Barbara Ann Beckett Gaines. She was a longtime member of St. Stephen's who graciously gave the estate of her home to our church. Her actions and faithfulness have inspired many, and we felt it would be appropriate for us to honor Barbara Ann with a home for someone else. And so a great deal of the money that we are using to go towards the build came from Barbara Ann's estate. We will begin the build with a kickoff on March 13th, and the house is going to be in Bessemer, and then the first real work day will be the following day, the 14th. Kathleen has gone to get a sign-up sheet, so if you're interested in helping, while you're here this morning, find Kathleen and the sign-up sheet and go ahead and put your name and your contact information so we can follow up with you later. There will be several opportunities to help. You don't have to be proficient with a nail gun or a drill or be able to frame a house. There will be lots of things that we're going to need doing that don't require those kind of heavy skills. If you have any questions this morning or want some more information that you don't get this morning, please either ask myself or Kathleen. If you come to me, I'm probably going to point you to Kathleen because I've been out for a few days and she's kind of taken the lead on this. Now I want to introduce, we have two staff members from Habitat as well as our family that we are building the house for. Ashton Johnson is a Birmingham native and has always been driven by a passion for service and community impact. She earned her degree in political science from the University of Alabama at Birmingham, which laid the foundation for her career in the nonprofit sector. Ashton began her journey at United Way as a loan executive and communications assistant, where she honed her skills in outreach and advocacy. She then spent 7 years as Director of Development for the ARC of Central Alabama, championed resources for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. In 2023, Ashton joined Habitat Birmingham as Vice President of Development, eager to expand her impact by supporting affordable housing initiatives. A dedicated member of West Concord Church of Christ, Ashton is deeply committed to making a meaningful difference in the lives of others through her work. Katie Elsie was born and raised in Birmingham and has always had a passion for serving others. She earned her degree in communication studies and public relations at the University of Montevallo. She has worked with many different nonprofit organizations before finding her home at Habitat for Humanity Greater Birmingham as the volunteer and event coordinator for 5 years ago. She loves combining her love for event planning and serving others. She is the mom of 2 girls, ages 2 and 3 months, and 2 golden retriever puppies. I have one of those retriever puppies at my house right now. That's enough to keep you busy, much less the 3-month-old and the 2-year-old. So please welcome Ashton and Katie.
Good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me well? Okay. I'll try not to move my head around too much so that everyone can hear me through the microphone. I want to thank you all for having us today, first and foremost, and for supporting a build. I know St. Stephen's Episcopal has been involved throughout the years, though, in other capacities, but this is a full build that we're extremely excited about. And so I want to also introduce our family, who will be speaking in a little bit as well, a little bit about her story, but it is the Carlisle family. And we have LaCheryl is the homeowner, and then her son Messiah, who is 6. So this will be the family that, you know, you'll be building a home for. And so she'll share a little bit about her story and the impact it has for her. A little bit about Habitat for Humanity of Greater Birmingham. We are a Christian housing ministry. So our foundation is on, you know, our faith and spreading God's love through building affordable homes, building communities, and, you know, spreading hope. So I think having our faith partners like yourself is very important to our organization. And, you know, having that foundation for us is also very important and something we like to carry on through our faith partners. So we appreciate that. To start us off, I'm going to have our little video shown that kind of tells you a little bit about us and more about the mission.
This is where it all begins. A foundation, a place where families can thrive rather than just survive. Where walls are more than just wood and nails, but the start of something greater. Where a roof is more than shelter, but a shield from life's storms and uncertainties. Where a warm, nurturing environment is more than just heating and air, it's peace of mind. Where every strike of a hammer, every saw cut, and every beam lifted high builds hope, opportunity, and a future full of promise. This is more than a house. It's a home where dreams take root. Join us in building brighter tomorrows. Volunteer, donate, or partner with Greater Birmingham Habitat for Humanity.
So as you can see, we also kind of follow with your series I know you're doing here, in that God makes all things new. And so Habitat for Humanity also carries that on and is being transformative in the lives of people who need affordable housing. Some of that footage was taken out at our Hopewell development, which Katie will kind of explain, and that's also where your build will take place. So it's a large development. She'll explain a bit more about that. So I kind of want to give you a little bit of a explainer of how Habitat works, because I know there are lots of myths or misconceptions about us, and so I'm going to let Katie kind of take that.
So how many people thought, at least sometime in the past, that houses were given away for free through Habitat? Okay, a few.
Be honest, it's okay.
We did too before we started, because I mean, I think on TV shows everyone's like, oh, Habitat for Humanity, so that's how you hear about it, and a lot of people think that they're given away for free. But they're not. Our families pay a 0% interest mortgage, and they also go through an entire program and work really hard to get their homes. So they go through an entire application process based on their need, based on their ability to repay this mortgage, because we don't want to put them in a home that they can't afford and set them up in a bad situation. So there's all kinds of calculations financially done. And then the last piece is their willingness to partner with Habitat. So they will do 250 sweat equity hours, and that's volunteer hours done on our construction sites and at our Restore in Irondale. So they'll be building their own homes, building other families' homes, and their friends and family can help out with part of those hours as well. They also take education classes. So Habitat is really about setting these families up for success. They'll take basic home maintenance, so they know how to patch drywall or fix a doorknob, all the little things you need to know as a homeowner. They do budgeting, learning about their credit, learning about a mortgage, smart car buying, just things that really set them up for financial success as well. They will pay a down payment over the course of the program. And then once they've completed all this, they're in their home, they're closed, they will begin repaying that 0% interest mortgage. And that part is huge. That is the key, because it saves so much money in the short term and the long term. So we find that because the mortgage is 0% interest, most times their payments are less than they'd be paying in rent other places. And then over the course of the loan, I mean, y'all know interest rates are crazy right now. We figured with that, they're saving about $200,000 over the course of their 25 to 30 year mortgage. So that's huge. Tons of money that can be reinvested, saved, and really set up their family and future generations to come. So it's really an awesome process, and we're really excited for you guys to be building in our Hopewell development that Ashton talked about a little bit. And this is a really cool project because we actually have built the entire community from the ground up, land acquisition, land development, so putting in the gas, putting in the power lines, water, all these things. We just finished phase 1 this past December, and that was 31 homes altogether. And then we just started phase 2, and that's where you guys will be working. It's directly across the street, and there's going to be around 90 homes on that side. So this project is really cool because it is a built-in community, because all these families have come up together through the program. They've built each other's houses, they've taken classes together. So it's not often that you get to move into a neighborhood where you know your neighbors and you've built each other's houses and you've grown up in this program together and worked together. So it's a super cool area. We're very excited for you guys to be working there. And with that, I'd love to introduce the Carlisle family who y'all will be building for. And she's going to tell you just a little bit about her story and her journey in the program.
Good morning, everyone. I'm LaShera Carlisle. I was born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama. I graduated from Hoover High School in 2009, and then shortly after began my 6-year Army career. After transitioning back into the civilian workforce, God blessed me with a bright and vibrant son who I decided to name Messiah. I have lived in the Homewood community for 8 years. In my spare time, I love to volunteer and give back to my community. I have volunteered the past 2 years to deliver meal packs to Homewood City Schools through Trinity Hope Outreach Program. Over the years, raising Messiah as a single parent, he was the motivation I needed to further my education. I recently graduated December 9, 2024 with my Bachelor's of Business Administration with honors in the top 10 of my class. Thank you. Stop, baby. I'm a part of 3 National Honor Societies and currently in my first semester to receive my MBA. I wish one day to become a first-generation commercial farmer. I decided to try the Habitat Humanity program as a first-time home buyer. I would say it's not an easy overnight process, but it was the best decision I made for my family. I have helped build homes for 5 to 10 families within the past year. The education courses required are extremely beneficial with becoming a homeowner. I have learned life skills that I can apply daily and have met some pretty amazing people associated with Habitat. My experience has been very positive, and I recommend the program daily to my peers who are wishing to become homeowners. I stand before you today with a heart full of gratitude. Words cannot fully express how much this means to me and my family. To St. Stephen's and all its members, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and unwavering support in helping build our home. This is more than just a house. It is a place of safety, love, and new beginnings. Your faith and generosity have given us a blessing that we will cherish forever. May God continue to bless each of you as you have blessed us. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Well, I will say this is the reason we do what we do at Habitat, and I mean, it is a real impact of your generosity. Life's changed, futures transformed, and I will say we were having a discussion before we started. I was having one with LaCheryl, and she was talking about her degree, what she wanted to do with her degree, and she said commercial farming, which I personally know nothing about, but I was asking, where do you currently live? She lives in an apartment. I was like, well, you don't have anywhere if you want to, grow your own vegetables, anything of that. You can't have a garden. Being able to then see that she'll have a house, she'll have a yard, she can start growing her own food, her own vegetables, and Messiah likes to play outside, and he can, have a backyard now to be able to play without, LaCheryl having to directly maybe go outside with him and stay with him the whole time, but being able to just have that freedom that every kid should have. And so that conversation really just hit home for me, I will say. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And so the impact of this build that it will have is it'll directly help the Carlisle family with her dream of homeownership and Messiah's dream of whatever that may be when he grows up. I think that'll facilitate it as well, having a safety of a house and seeing his mother pursue this and the work she's put in will surely have an impact on him, seeing that. It'll strengthen a growing neighborhood we have in Bessemer. So if the location is off of Morgan Road, if you're familiar with that area, it's directly off Morgan Road. It's called Hopewell. The development is Hopewell Crossings, and that's where your house will be, but it will strengthen that area as well, which is in need of it. Also, I will say, as a Christian myself, is that you'll be, as you participate, you'll be living out your faith through service. And that's something that not many nonprofits easily have, is being able to have a built-in, engagement opportunity, which we do, which is you can come out on the construction site. And I will say that you do not have to come with any experience, none whatsoever. I came with no experience, and we did a staff build day, and I've come out for our women build and different things, and learned how to, use the nail gun, just starting from scratch. And even if that's not your thing, there's always something for everyone to help, no matter your skill level. So don't worry about that. But even if you can't come out, I encourage you all to get involved by praying for this homeowner, praying for all the Habitat homeowners. Coming out another volunteer build if you can't come out to this one. But I also encourage you to come out and sign up for this volunteer opportunity that St. Stephen's has, so that you can be a part of this great mission. Also, as you know, St. Stephen's was able to make a generous donation, which that unfortunately is the meat of how you get this to be a tangible reality, is funding and financial. So we appreciate that. And then I also encourage you to advocate for the Habitat mission, which is to provide affordable housing to families in need. And so I'll kind of close this out unless Katie has anything she wants to share. And so I encourage you to take that next step. I know there are forms you can sign up with, so I encourage you to sign up on a day that you can come out. And if you can't, please continue to pray for our organization and pray for the families. That is always a need I think we can all see in our world. So I appreciate you again for having us out, and hopefully we'll see some of your faces when we start building. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
What is,
I think she's going to bring you the microphone. Sorry, Frank. I could hear him, but...
What is the, I guess I call it typical cost of building a Habitat home? I mean, putting in the infrastructure and that you have to do and everything to completion.
Yes.
About what does that run?
Yes. So we estimate construction's about $185,000 for us. We also, and that's from that's not pre-development. So we have like a development like the Hopewell. We have to acquire all that land, as well as have all the engineering and everything come in. So that's not something that I know personally, but from the ground up, it is about $185,000, depending on the area that it is and construction costs at the time. That's about approximately.
That does not include acquisition cost
Correct.
of the land.
So it could be more than that. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Oh, Katie?
And that also does include, we do pay subcontractors to come in and do all of the actual skilled things that require a license. So that's electricians, plumbers, roofers, anything that we don't have volunteers do. So that part goes into the cost as well.
Give us the name and the number of the bid again?
The name and number of the build?
Yeah, the House bill.
No, Ray, this isn't about a House bill.
I thought it was a bill in the state legislature.
No,
No, a
that's
build.
something else.
Thank you.
No, you're fine.
Can you remind us of the age limits for volunteers? And also, if we have friends that are not members, I assume we can bring them along. How does that work?
Yes, that is a great question. I will say on the construction site, it's ages 14 and up for liability reasons. And as far as the other question you had, what was it?
Can friends come
Oh, yes, friends. Yes, I would imagine you can bring friends out, and that would probably just be signed up through the church's online sign up. Yes.
And that That's a great segue into how you sign up to help with it. If you'll go to the website under Serve, drop down, there's that drop down menu, and you will find the information there about signing up to Serve. We will probably have a physical sign up possibly this coming Sunday, but until then, go to the website, go to Serve, and there'll be a drop down menu where you can sign up.
Yes. And I'll also say a typical day is 8 to 3 with a break for lunch. We usually typically do a full day just because with our site leaders who will be training, that ensures that, there's not a super long break in between having to train volunteers. So, yes.
I know normally Habitat Build Days are Thursday through Saturday. Is St. Stephen's participating, trying to get volunteers for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, or just Saturday?
That's a great question. So St. Stephen's did choose reserved certain days as well, but we will have up on the website some other days that y'all can sign up individually through our website. Yes.
Fridays and Saturdays. Thank you.
Yep. Go ahead.
And if there's a day that you can't come out on the actual St. Stephen's days, we will have the Thursdays through Saturdays up, so you can just sign up directly through our online calendar.
We also,
Good
St.
questions.
Stephen's a few years ago purchased a really nice smoker.
Ooh.
This is the time, so we got crews that want to bring that out to cook lunch for everybody. That's another way of helping.
Yes, absolutely. We have plenty of room to do that. And I'm sure our site leaders would really appreciate that.
Somebody mentioned earlier that they hate painting, that they'd rather not do that. You don't have to do something that you don't want to do. There are going to be lots and lots of jobs to be done, like making lunch for the crew, or, using a drill or what have you, or painting if you like to paint.
Absolutely. Anything, there's always an opportunity.
Somebody just said it's a good place to learn a new skill. Maybe learn how to use a nail hammer, one of those nail guns.
Very true. Anything else?
Kathleen has just arrived, and she's got some actual physical sign-up sheets in the back of the room.
I was just curious about where actually is this build in Birmingham?
Yeah, so it's in Bessemer, so it's a little bit outside of downtown Metro Birmingham. I don't know if you're familiar with Morgan Road, which is out past Hoover just a little bit. It's just out there.
GPS, I suggest you use Barton Lane, because that is in the GPS.
We can do that. Yes, that's a great point to make, is that the actual physical address that will be her house is not any GPS, so we do give a different address to get you there navigating, but that's a good point. Thank you for sharing that. Any other questions?
So we just had a question, can people bring their own tools, or do they need to bring their own tools?
We will have all tools on site. We will have all safety wear as well. No need.
Unless you're very attached to your own hammer, then you're welcome to bring it.
Yes, absolutely. But you're not required to lug all that with you. All right, if there's no other questions, I'll let Kathleen maybe has something to share. Okay.
Thank you guys for being here. Just so that y'all all kind of know where we are with the build, how things are going from our end of things. We have a sign up that's online. I know Sally shared that. We are also working with a lot of other small churches in the area, so we've invited St. Thomas to come along. Ascension and Vestavia is also going to join us, and then All Saints in Homewood is also going to take a weekend. So there are other opportunities too to kind of work with our friends in the larger diocese, but also make some new relationships there. It's going to be a really great opportunity for us to get to work together, for us to kind of show and honor BA's legacy, but also just a great way for St. Stephen's to build some other opportunities for connection, which is kind of our focus for the year. So if you have any questions, I am always happy to help answer them. I really do think this is going to be such a wonderful chance for us to get to know each other and do something for the greater good. So I'm grateful that you all were here today to listen to how to be participatory in that. And like Sally said, I did print some physical copies of a sign-up sheet. Every day they could take up to 25 volunteers, so there might be like 5 slots on those pieces of paper. If you really want to build a weekend and all those slots are filled, just write your name next to it. If there's a limit and we exceed that, that is a wonderful problem to have. So, please let me know if y'all have any questions. But other than that, I'm grateful that y'all were here today. And thanks again to the Carlisles and to Ashton and Katie for being here.